What is going on, everybody? It is Christos here, and today we got another video for you guys. And yeah, we're going to have quite a bit of videos back to back to back, so I apologize about that. But today we're going to bring a really fun one I've been really enjoying, and it is Nordic Adventure. So we've had a lot of other decks we've been showing off. The one before this was like megaliths. We got another generators coming up. We got ultra athletes. We got another Magic Key build, two Magic Key builds, and other Magic Key, two Musketeers. Yeah, we have a lot of decks coming up. But anyway, that's all for future. Today's video is Nordic Adventure. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into the deck. So, if you guys are upset with me about my 50 card deck from last video, this one's going to be a lot better. 40 cards. And as you can see, we're not running nearly as many hand traps, so you should be happy about that. We are running 3 Max C. It's a staple. You have to run in every master, like anytime you play Master Duel. We are running 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spling. Yet again, it's a staple because it stops Max C. We're running 2 Called by the Grave. Yeah, yet again, get rid of your opponent's Max C. Then 1 Crossout Designator to get rid of your opponent's Max C. That's the deck for the hand traps, at least. I know not a lot of people like running those 9 cards. But yet again, you gotta run them or you're just gonna get outclassed so quickly. So with that, let's get into the cards. And yeah, so firstly, we got 3 Nordic FR. This one is, if you normal summon this card, you could normal summon 1 Nordic monster during your main phase in addition to your normal summoner set. If this face-up card sits in your graveyard, target 1 Nordic relic card in the graveyard and return it to your hand. So it has a good recycle effect. We got 3 Magician Souls, newly released in the Dark Magician deck not that long ago. Magician Souls, not Magician Souls, Illusion of Chaos. Anyway, Magician Souls is a really good card. I got them mixed up. This one has been out for a while. What Magician Soul does is you can send 2 spells or traps from your hand and or field to the graveyard, draw that many cards. If this card's in your hand, you could send 1 level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to the graveyard, then activate 1's effect. You could special summon it, or you could send this card to the graveyard, then you could special summon 1 Dark Magician or Dark Magician Gore from your graveyard. You can only use each of your effective Magician Souls once per turn. We got 1 Valkyrie of the Nordic Ascent. When this card is normal summon, your opponent controls a monster, and you control no other cards. You can banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand, special summon 2 tokens. You're never using this effect. You're using it as just another name. It does come up, so just an FYI. We got 2 I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Anyway, Nordic Beast, 2 of this guy. When this card you control is destroyed by balance at the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then once per turn, when the defense position card you control is changed to attack, face-up attack position, you can special 1 Nordic Beast monster from your deck in defense position. Yet again, you're not using it for its effect. You're using it to level 3, and you kind of want 2 of them. We got 1 Water Enchantress of the Temple. If you control an adventure token, you can special summon this card. You can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, add 1 right Adamasir from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If you control an adventure token, you can place 1 field spell that mentions adventure token for your deck face up to your field. You're only using it for its hand effect to get rid of Adamasir from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So just an FYI. We got 3 Nordic Beasts, Guggenbuska. Anyway, yet again, terrible. For Synchro Summon, you could substitute this card for any 1 Nordic Tuner. You can only use each of the following effects of Nordic Beast once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 Nordic monster from your hand. You can target 1 Nordic monster in your graveyard, accept itself, and add it to your hand. So it's a really cool recycling effect, and you can storm the field pretty quickly. Really good, definitely worth running. I'm also running 1 Fairy Tale Snow. Fairy Tale Snow is just a really good card. It's really underutilized right now in Master Duel, and I think that's stupid because what this card does is you can banish up to 7. You can banish 7 other cards from your hand, field, or graveyard, and special summon it. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and change it to face-down defense position. So it's a really great card. Really great just to get rid of certain opponent's boss monsters if they have like a negate that you can't get through. We got 1 Nordic FR. Yet again, you're running this as a level 4 name, in particular for anything else. You're not really using it for effects, but just no, you're using it for level 4, and that does come up quite a bit. And 1 Nordic Smith, 3 Nordic Smiths. Yet again, Nordic name level 4, but its effect does come up all the time, and this is a great effect. What it does is if you control an Aesir or Nordic monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you could add one Nordic relic card from your deck to your hand. You could only each effect of the Smith once per turn, and your targets for that are going to be Gungnir and Savannah. So just so you know that. We have one Wandering Griffin Rider. During your main phase, if you control no monsters or control an adventure token, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. When a card effect is activated while you control an adventure token, quick effect, you can shuffle that card into the deck, and if you do, negate the activation. So it's just a good omni negate, and yeah, you can't really complain since we're running the adventure engine. Definitely worth having. 2 Illusion of Chaos. This is the new card that came out in the Dark Magician deck, by the way. We're running 2 of them. You could ritual summon this card. We're not ever ritual summoning it. What we're doing is the next effect. You can reveal this card in your hand, add one Dark Magician or one non-ritual monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. Then place one card from your hand on top of the deck. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you could turn this card to the hand, and if you do, special summon one Dark Magician from your graveyard. If you do that, negate the effect. Now, what you're doing is you're revealing this card, bringing it back to the deck, and you're getting Magician Souls to your hand. You activate Magician Souls, you dump Illusion of Chaos to the graveyard, and Magician Soul special summons itself. Then you could go Magician Souls like Link Kuriboh if you want to, or you could use it as a banish fodder for one of our extra deck monsters. So really good card, definitely worth running. We got one Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, you can send one monster from your deck to your graveyard. Our target for that is Water Enchantress or Fairy Tale Snow, depending on how late in the game we are. So just an FYI on that. We got one Rhoda, Reinforcement of the Army is great. You could add one level 4 lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. Our target for that is Smith. We got 2 Rite of Adamasier. We got 1 Draco back, 1 Fateful Adventure. We got 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Crossout Designator. We are running 1 Gungnir. Gungnir, you can banish 1 Aesir or Nordic monster you control. Then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Also, during your second end phase at the activation, we turn the monster you banished to activate this card to the field and face up the attack position. So it's pretty good. It's a way to get rid of cards if you don't need to, and the monster you banished does come back. And we got 1 Savannah. If you control an Aesir monster, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. You contribute 1 Nordic monster, and then target 1 Aesir monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect once per turn. The effect you're using most often is the Skill Drain effect. You can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. This is stupidly good. So just a good FYI, you definitely want to be using that constantly. Now for our extra deck. To be honest with you, half our extra deck doesn't really matter. It doesn't really come up that often. You could probably kind of play around with it a little bit more if you really wanted to. But the big cards that do come up is F.A. Dondraxter. You can make this kind of somewhat reliably. Not often, but you can. Shooting Rise of Dragons, alright. Thor, Lord of Aesir. I've been going to Thor more often my first turn, and I'll explain why later. But what this card does is once per turn, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. Once per turn during the end phase, if this face-up card you control was destroyed by opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard this turn, will be destroyed by the opponent's card and sent to the graveyard this turn, you can banish 1 Nordic Beast Tuner from your graveyard, special summon this card. So it's an easy way, and why I say I usually go Thor my first turn is because the Nordic Beast Tuner would be Gugabuska. And you could banish this card, bring back Thor. So if Thor stays on your field, even if it gets destroyed that turn. We are running 1 Loki. Loki is once per turn when the opponent activates a spell trap card during the battle phase. Quick effect, you can negate the activation if you do destroy it. Once per turn in the end phase, this face-up card you control is destroyed by the opponent's card and sent to the graveyard. You can banish 1 a Fear Tuner from your graveyard, special summon this card. Not the best, but I needed another name just in case. If you don't want to run Loki, I would advise either running 2 Thor or 2 Odin. Next up, we got Odin. Then once per turn, you can make this card unaffected by spell and trap cards until the end of this turn. Once per turn during the end phase, if this face-up card you control is destroyed by opponent's card and sent to the graveyard this turn, you can banish 1 Nordic Ascendant Tuner from your graveyard, special summon this card. And your Ascendant Tuner is Valkyrie, by the way. We got 1 Brand of 4, 1 Link Kuriboh, 2 of the Nordic Ascent, Gluveg. This is one of our most important Link 1 monsters. You definitely want to run 2 of these. I would advise, if you can, try to run 3. What this card does, if this card is Link Summon, you can banish up to 3 cards from your hand or field, and if you do, special summon that many Nordic monsters from your deck in defense position. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters except Azer monsters, nor normal summons to set any monsters. You can only use the effect of Nordic Ascendant once per turn. While this card points to an Azer monster, your opponent cannot target that monster with card effects. Also, monsters your opponent controls cannot target this card for attacks. Now, what you're using it for is that you special summon 3 from the deck. And the 3 that I've been going to the most is 1 Nordic Beast, Glukabuska, 1 Smith, and then 1 other Nordic Beast. And that has been my 3, because 3, 4, and 3 make a 10. And you want to go into Thor or Odin in your first turn. Smith's effect will activate, allowing you to get a relic, and then you want to grab the skill drain. You set the skill drain, you have Thor, and if you have the adventure line, you do the adventure line first before you go into the Link 1. Then you have the adventure negate, you have skill drain, you have Odin. You have so many moving pieces. It's really good. We got 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess. This is let's get rid of certain boss monsters that are really hard to. And then we got 1 Axis Code Talker. So that's it for the whole deck. I hope you guys been enjoying. This has been a blast to play. I've been having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys liked the video, please show me some love, and I'll see you all later. Let's get into the games. All right, so our first game here. Yeah, this was an interesting one. He brought Black Wings, and I was like, I'm down for that. So my opponent, I'm one that I go first. My opponent goes 1 second. I have a pretty decent hand. Activate Faithful Adventure. Then I'm going to normal summon Beast. Faithful Adventure activates. He Ash Blossoms this. I'm like, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to complain about that. And so yeah, that gets Ash Blossomed. Beast effect's going to go. I'm going to link off Beast into Nordic Ascendant. Nordic Ascendant effect's going to activate. I'm going to banish 3. I banish to itself. My Draco back, and then my Smith in my hand, and I special summon Beast, the Beast and Smith. Smith's effect, I'm going to grab the skill drain, and at this point I'm going to activate Beast effects, grab me Beast from my graveyard back to my hand, and at this point I'm going to link off, synchro off into Odin, and I set 1 to pass. This is why I kind of made a mistake. I should have went into Thor, but we'll see how it played out. My opponent activates some Morg, sets Black Whirlwind. Smorn is going to summon itself. I skill drained at this point, because Black Whirlwind. In fact, I didn't want him to get out of control, so I was like, yeah, let's just get rid of Black Whirlwind and see what happens. He normal summons Boots. I'm like, okay, that sucks. Boots effect, he gets blocker effect. He does discard 1 card to use effect. He activates Boots effect, and he gets Shade Bringadine to his hand. Then he sets 1. He activates Shade Bringadine, special summoning it, and at this point he's going to go into Rusty Bardiche. And then Rusty Bardiche he's going to send Raider's Ring, and he gets another Bardiche to his field. And at this point he ends his turn. I'm like, that's interesting. So I have a pretty decent go here, and at this point I don't think my opponent can do anything. I activate Odin's effect, and he just concedes. So yeah, I was going to win that turn, but that was a lot of fun. So let's get into the next game. Alright, this is game 2 here, and this was an interesting one. Not the best, but not the worst either. These are some pretty quick duels, but like I said, this deck has been a lot of fun. If you want to play a fun combo-oriented deck, this was definitely it. So I go first. I'm going to activate Rite of Adamasier, and I get a token. And Faithful Adventure gets on my field. At this point, I activate Magician's Souls, sending Illusion of Chaos, special summoning of Magician's Souls. Faithful Adventure activates, he Ash Blossoms this. I'm like, that's perfectly fine, because I got Called By. So Called By is going to negate his Ash, and then I'm going to grab a Griffin Rider. I believe I grabbed Griffin Rider. So yeah. So Faithful Adventure activates. Oh, I get Draco back. Okay. Now Faithful Adventure is going to activate. I'm going to grab me a Wandering Griffin Rider. I discard the Draco back. Draco Fax effect, I equip it to my token, and I'm going to special summon my Griffin Rider. So at this point, I'm just feeling really confident. There's not too much my opponent could do, and I'm feeling pretty good. So Illusion of Chaos, I sent both my spells away to draw 2. I normal summon my Valkyrie, and I'm going to link away my Valkyrie into my Nordic Ascendant. So Nordic Ascendant, I'm going to banish itself, Magician's Souls, and my Illusion from Chaos, and I get 3 Smith's effects are going to activate, and I get Gundyr. At this point, I'm going to synchro off into Odin. I believe it's Odin. Yep, it's Odin again. Odin's animations is sick. And I'm going to set the skill drain and destroy 1. And that is my turn. So I have an Omnigate and a skill drain. My opponent activates Dark Ruler no more. I'm like, that's perfectly fine. He activates Foxy Tune, discarding it, and the trap he gets Zemain. At this point, I'm going to skill drain. And then I'm like, okay, so I don't know what my opponent could do at this point, and he just concedes. So yeah, there goes Punk. So let's get into our last game. I hope everybody is enjoying. All right, so this is our last game for the day here, and we're going to see what ends up happening. I'm doing pretty confident. I'm doing pretty good with this deck. I've been playing it for about a month now, so my lines have been pretty consistent. So I've had a pretty good opener. My opponent activates Pod Prosperity. He gets rid of 3. He shows Zenmain, Gamma, and Crossout Designator. He adds Zenmain to his hand. And at this point, he normal summons Zenmain, activates effect. I misplayed. I max C. I should have held on to it, but I misplayed. So my opponent's going to grab a Oka Dance. I love that Royal Rare. It's beautiful. And he sets 1. I'm like, okay. He played into that pretty well. So I have a pretty decent hand. I'm going to activate Reinforcement Army, see if he has any hand traps. He doesn't have anything, so I get Nordic Smith. I'm going to activate Magician's Souls. I get rid of Illusion of Chaos. I special summon it. And I normal summon Diviner of the Nordic Alfair. And he infinite permanence this. He did not read my cards. Good. I'm happy he did not read. So I go into Nordic Ascendant. Nordic Ascendant's effects going to activate. And then I'm going to banish 3. So I banish itself, Magician's Souls, and 1 of my Smiths here. And I get Smith, Beast, and Beast. Smith's effects going to activate, and I do get the skill drain. So I'm going to activate Beast effect. I grab back my Nordic Affair, and at this point, I'm going to synchro off into a Thor, Lord of the Aesir. And I set the skill drain. Thor is going to attack for 29. And like I said, at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident. I don't know what my opponent could do. I know 1 card in his hand, 3 unknown. So we're going to see what happens. My opponent normal summons Vagon. He gets a field spell. Field spell he places the field spell. Then he activates Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune discards. He discards Gamma, and now he gets Puncturig. Then he's going to fusion into Rising Carp. Field spell is going to activate, allowing me to draw a card. I'm going to skill drain at this moment to get rid of the field spell and his return 2. Field spell is gone. My opponent did not read. He tries to activate the fusion. It's gone. He tries to activate the field spell, but yet again, that's still negated because he did not read my card. Then he ends his turn. At this point, activate Magician's Souls, getting rid of Illusion of Chaos, special summon Magician's Souls. I activate Smith's effect. He activates Infinite Permanence. I'm just going to Nordic Relic at this point. Get rid of his, his 2 cards. Yes, I am BMing at this point just a little bit, but I want to kill him with Odin, so leave me alone. Smith's effect, I'm going to go into Link. Link's effect is going to banish 3. I banish itself. That and one of the Ascendants. I get 3. At this point, I'm going to go in Odin, and at this point, I'm just going to attack for 4,000 directly because that was a lot of fun. So, FYI for the future, if you have game, just attack with Thor. Don't do what I did, but this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck. I've been loving it. It is one of the ones I have a lot of fun with, and I'm very happy I was able to craft these cards and actually make this deck for everybody. If you guys like this and want to see more of what these type of decks, please let me know. And yeah, if you guys want to suggest a deck to me also, feel free to. But other than that, I hope you guys all enjoy and have a wonderful day. I'll catch you all next time.